So let's talk about devotion. Who is devoted to who? What is devoted to what? And where inside ourselves is the only true space from which it's possible to be devoted. Now, devotion is a beautiful non-dual quality. You see it in the word bhakti, which is the devotion to the way, to the truth, the devotion to the guru. You find devotion in mystical traditions, whether it's devotion to the saints, devotion to Jesus, devotion to the church, devotion to God, devotion to the particular branch of Judaism, devotion to whatever. There's something selfless about devotion. It's good. And when you devote yourself to another person, you're a really good person. You have all the right to exist then. You're acceptable. You're not bad. They should be grateful. They should return that devotion to you. So what the hell goes wrong? Well, let's talk about a devotion complex. And we've all got them because as children, we were unconditionally, and as babies, literally devoted to our parents. And this devotion isn't just a physical thing, the fact that they could do whatever they want with us and take us everywhere. We were utterly surrendered. It's not just a mental thing. We didn't get a choice in that. It's a heart thing. It's a heart thing that says, my well-being is your well-being and your well-being is my well-being. It's a direct route where the essence of us on the inside is seeking to blend with and merge with and meet the essence of the parent, of the one that takes care of us, or the essence of anything in the outer world, which can affirm again the essence of us in the inside. It's the way we find unity in form, oneness in the manifold. It's basic to our well-being. So devotion is part of our naturalness. It's a movement of the heart. It's the movement of the heart that says we are one. And the differing expression of this oneness is precious. So where does it go wrong? So let's imagine we were still a child and we're devoted to our parent. And our parent is an alcoholic. And she needs a drink. And she's asking us, go get the drink, go get alcohol from the fridge. Don't let your father see you. You're also devoted to your father, remember. She's beginning to get very, very, very upset. She's suffering. And even though you can handle her anger towards you because you're devoted, it's very hard to feel her suffering. And you are devoted. So what do? You go, or maybe you don't go, or you go. And you go and get the alcohol, the bottle of wine or whatever, from the secret place for your mother. Or not. Either way, you're screwed. Either way, we have a devotion complex. A feeling that we can never get it right, that we're always wrong, that something in this movement of the heart, looking for oneness, looking for well-being with the other, is frustrated. Now that's traumatic. And it's not just in extreme cases like when our parent is an alcoholic, it's in all kinds of pleasing behaviors where devotion gets confused. We can be devoted to our school teacher, but then when she throws us out of the class for being honest that the book she's reading is boring, this devotion screams in pain. And what is this devotion that's screaming in pain? What part of us is suffering this devotion complex? Where is it really hurting us? When our devotion gets frustrated, when it's complicated, when it feels impossible. You notice we're coming into the essence of ourselves. So this essence of ourselves, out of which the true nature is emanating together with the quality of devotion. This is what's in the front line of coming to life and beauty through suffering, the dissonance, the paradox, the conditions, the literally difficult, hard limitations and conditions of being in multiple forms. So on the ground, as adults, as free human beings, how do we get back to that natural devotion without joining a religious cult or blindly sacrificing our own well-being, which is a devotion complex, because that also is worthy of our devotion? How do we get back to the free movement, the free passage of devotion? How do we navigate those complicated relationships where loyalty to one thing seems to be a betrayal of the other? Loyalty to the maybe disordered, nasty personality seems to be a betrayal of the essence of the other. And loyalty to the essence of the other seems to be a betrayal of the nasty, disordered personality disorder in our friend or loved one. How do we navigate? There is only one way, and this is a law of healing. When we meet conditions on a natural movement of the heart, of our true nature, when we meet those conditions and we begin to suffer, the quality inside ourselves begins to scream in pain. Now it's the scream of devotion, frustrated devotion. And we're meeting conditions. What do we do? Well, first of all, there needs to be an acknowledgement that the conditions we're meeting are conditions which we have within our power. Meaning, if our devotion cannot be there, if our loved one is self-destructing, we've met a condition. If our devotion cannot be there, if our girlfriend leaves us for another man, then we're meeting the conditions on our own devotion. We were coming from a place of conditions. There's a purification happening. If the devotion to our parent cannot be there, if our parent mistreats us or abuses us, we're meeting conditions again on our own devotion. And the first conditions we're meeting are behavioral, saying, I must be nice. I must look like a loving daughter. I must look like a loving husband. They must look like a loving parent. She must look like a loving girlfriend. She must never reject me. She must never leave me alone. They must always be sweet to me. Otherwise, no devotion. You see, it's got two heads, this beast. So we're meeting conditions on the quality, and the conditions are connected to where we are coming from. Are we devoting out of fear? Are we devoting out of a deficit in our basic right to exist? If I am devoted to you, then I may exist. Are we devoting out of a place of wanting to be good and not bad? When we come to that place of conditions, whether the conditions appear to be on coming from ourselves towards the other or from the other towards us, it's time to move back to the true devotion. The devotion in us, which is sourced in the essence of us, and which is seeking to move through form to find the essence of the other. Devotion from essence to essence, seeking to become one in the manifold through this movement of the heart. And when we find that position again of where we are devoted is from the core of our heart, from the core of our soul. And what we are devoted to, which is the essence or the same soul or the truth or the real aspect of the other. Then the free passage can begin to open up in which the conditions are released. Meaning, maybe this child in a divorce totally rejects her father out of devotion to her father. Because the way he's moving abusively, self-destructively is not the real him. She sees the real him. So out of the depth of devotion to him, she refuses to relate to that part of his personality. She simply doesn't believe in it. She waits and she cuts the connection until he can show up and she can plug into the real him. This is true devotion. So devotion, like every quality, isn't a weak, nice, pleasy thing. It's a wake-up call. It's saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to the dimension of the soul. Let it be unconditional. To be devoted is not to be a yes man of your neighbor or of your teacher or of your partner. To expect devotion is not to expect them to love you and to facilitate whatever creepy thing you're getting up to. Devotion is a quality so close to the truth of the heart, which can set everybody free if we let it. It's simply saying, remember, 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 remember who you are. And remember, 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 remember who you are. So we were joined by sweet, beautiful Maggie, who is devoted, and the great teacher of devotions, and the devotion in me and Maggie greets the devotion in you.